I'll let you guys know this, and now you can't unknow it. I sleep naked sometimes. Recently, my girlfriend took a picture of my bare ass, and then to show her that I didn't care, I posted this picture on my Instagram, forgetting that her mom follows me on Instagram. So then I get a message from Katie's mom that says, "What makes you think it was a good idea to post a picture of my daughter's ass on social media?" Yeah. But I had a very manly ass. Apparently I've just been rocking these lady lumps the whole time. And in the 30 years I've been alive, I never thought I could end an argument by going, "Actually, Diane, it was my ass." But here I am.
So you don't have that kind of relationship with your roommates where you can just walk around in your underwear? Right now?
I wouldn't want that because I wouldn't want to see my roommates.
It changes things.
So, like... So I'm gonna respect the same rules I want from them. It's two other male comics. The one is Matthew Ferguson, who is in a relationship, and Tyler's the bachelor of the household.
It does sound like a sitcom, though.
But it definitely seems like a sitcom, especially because my two roommates look just as trashy as me. So it's just like some weird hillbilly kind of sitcom thing going on.
For sure. Oh, that's awesome, though. I love being the weird group, you know?
I'm used to looking like this and not really caring what other people think of my looks, so I don't really care too much. We're in a rougher neighborhood, but we blend in. I find looking like me, you don't get hit up for change as often as the other people, you know what I mean? Smokes all the time. I guess before, when my hair was shorter or I was more clean shaven, if it was smaller, less strangers would talk to me because people wouldn't feel the need to go up to me and tell me I look like Jesus or I look like Zach Wilde or Rob Zombie, or I get these weird comparisons all the time.
Did you meet him with this look?
A shorter version.
A shorter beard, and his hair was in a weird phase, which I thought was really cute. But I've never seen his chin. I've never seen under this fully.
No, only in pictures.
In pictures. Yeah.
Do you want to see it in the flesh?
I think it would be kind of scary at this point. I feel like it would take me a minute to be who have I been dating? You know what I mean?
It would weird her out. I couldn't do it as a surprise.
No.
If she came home when I was clean shaven, she'd call the police. Somebody else was in the house.
You totally look like you fit into The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys watch that show?
I love that show. Yeah.
Did you see it last night? Did you watch it?
I haven't watched any of the new ones yet.
Although you probably already know, but I'm not going to tell you.
Somebody dies, I think. Yeah.
Aren't they already dead? They're zombies. So do you guys believe in ghosts? Yeah?
I'm always really freaked out by ghosts. I think a lot of things are haunted. All of my jobs are haunted to me.
Yeah. Are they old places? Older buildings?
Yeah, my one job is a 200-ish year old building, and the basement is literally the scariest place in the world to me.
Wow.
So I think that's probably haunted. This place across from my other job is definitely haunted. It's on the haunted walk.
Definitely haunted.
Yeah, it's definitely haunted.
Katie will research stuff though too. I said, the area that we live in, Hamilton, isn't it's kind of a rougher neighborhood or whatever else, but our building was recently redone. I guess it used to be really bad. There used to be a lot of drugs in that building and a lot of stuff that happened. And then Katie Googled a bunch of old stuff that happened in those apartments, and a bunch of people had passed away in them. And so she's like, "There's ghosts here for sure." I'm like, "Why do you look up this stuff only to freak yourself out?"
So do you guys feel comfortable talking about your sex lives?
What?
You're what?
Oh, God.
All I'll say is very normal stuff. Not to mock anything, but we're not furries or bringing other people into the mix. That's not why we have roommates now. So it's pretty just standard couple sex. I like it. I'm very happy with everything.
That sounds good.
Hopefully she is too.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're good. All right. So.
How do you guys feel about the term love making?
Good question.
Do people use it anymore?
I don't really hate that term too much. I really don't respect couples who call each other babe. And Katie agrees with me on this, and I don't know why it bothers me so much, but hey babe, it's just, I don't know. It seems cheesy. And also, baby's short for baby, so like why
Yeah.
are you associating babies with somebody's hotness? Or, like, I just feel like babe, everybody uses babe, so
Yeah,
like
it is. It's the
we're more
go-to.
creative because we love each other more.
This is an interesting sign. A twig just fell off the table. It is very windy though.
Ghost.
There's a cafe kind of up around the corner. We could still record in there.
You want to grab a coffee or something?
Ooh, I
or-
do like
yeah,
coffee.
we are. My favorite comedian of all time is Stephen Wright, who is a very like odd one-liner comic. So I really liked weird jokes when I first started. I would make random jokes about like food or bugs or just like these quick things like word association and stuff like that. Like I wonder if flies think that dragonflies are just a myth. And I'd run these weird jokes by Katie. But then I guess as I kind of like kept going with comedy, I was able to kind of talk more about like my real life, or like I'll have jokes about like my relationship with Katie, or like I have jokes about growing up with diabetes because I've been a diabetic since I was 3, or like, and I started like figuring out ways to write jokes that were more into my own life, but I still try to keep it very quick. I try not to get super wordy without a laugh. I think my favorite thing to do is write though still. That's what I did a ton of when I first started because I was very nervous about like going up. I wrote for a long time. I didn't end up writing for a full year because what happened is I was living with my roommate Luke at the time. But like I said, Katie was over all the time too. So like Luke and Katie heard all my jokes. Anything that like I was working on, they caught and they gave me like the yay or nay on things. And I was writing and I felt like I was like definitely built up enough time to do a set, but I was just still so like shy, I guess, that I just wanted to keep writing. Like it was never gonna be good enough. But Luke took it upon himself to talk to somebody who ran a comedy show because he felt like I had enough time. And he went and talked to his friend and got me booked on a show behind my back.
That's pretty awesome.
And then told me, like, you're doing this show. And he's like, I know you want to kill me right now, but I really do believe in you and I think you
Wow,
can
that's an amazing friend.
do this. So it was like, I still hated him for a while because I thought if I had a year, it would have been the perfect set, but instead I only had half a year. And Katie and I weren't dating yet, but she came to the show, and I wanted to leave. Once we got there, and I saw everybody, and I was first on the list too, so it was my first set, and I had to go up first. And I went, no, okay, we got to get out of here. Like I don't want to do this. And like Luke, she kind of like talked me into staying or encouraged me to keep going. And then I ended up doing a set and it went really well and I ended up winning the money.
Wow.
The cranberry cheesecake is very good.
That's what I was looking at. I mean, just the fact that
I think
it's
I'm gonna do
cheesecake.
it. I have to. Yeah, I think it's time. You guys want cheesecake?
Yeah, I'll have one too.
I'll have a cheesecake.
Yeah?
For sure.
How about you?
I'll just sneak a bit of her.
Did you bring your blood test?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, right.
I really eat everything.
Yeah.
I'm probably not the best diabetic. Model myself.
So when you're on stage, is that kind of a caricature of you, or is that you?
No, there's definitely certain things exaggerated, for sure, like, but...
Because you seem very intense when you're on stage.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're holding your forehead, you're pacing.
Right, just a bit nervous and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That was something I kind of got from actually watching videos of myself, like early on. Because early on, I would just hold my head or something like that because I was actually nervous. And then they would just see that, but it was still working. So eventually, I kind of overall have become less nervous on stage. But I still like the idea of like a nervous character kind of telling these structured jokes. So
You're like that when you're mad too.
and now I'll like
That's
hold
when
my
he's
head.
mad.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
he's mad. He has this walk when he's mad. So if you're like walking towards me, he's angry. I'm like, oh. I think it's funny how much your dad likes Adele.
When I was a kid, my dad was like 80s, like metalhead, like long frizzy hair. He still has long hair. Mr. Rock and Roll, Mr. Motorcycle. But yeah, now I'll have like Adele, and he drinks wine.
Wow.
Changed
Do you
him.
think was it Adele that changed him?
I think it was wine first. I don't know. I think that the wine brought him over to Adele. It says it on the back of her album. It's like, we'll give you a bottle to pair it with. He thinks he's funny and like isn't at all. And like, I think he's funny.
Yeah.
But not intentionally. He's funny like he'll see snow falling on the ground and he'll yell at it from the window. And I think my mom and him divorced like young. I guess part of like the reason maybe I got part of my sense of humor anyways was just trying to like kind of like lighten the mood, because like one would pick me up or drop me off, and I'd always like, my brother and I would always like witness an argument between them. So like I'd probably make a smart ass comment or something to just keep it light for my brother and I, and hopefully I land my dream job of just being able to tell jokes about my girlfriend and cats. I get cast in background acting sometimes. I've played like a Viking before, like an old pilgrim and stuff like that.
Were you around other Vikings?
Yeah, I was in.
Other people that look like you?
Yeah, I got cast for this one thing, and it's pretty easy because they just cast for looks. I don't need to say any lines. You don't have to do any like real major acting. It's just like, do you look this way? If so, we can use you kind of around this scene.
Yeah.
And I got one thing for a show called American Gods, which is going to be out in 2017. And it's a scene where we're Vikings and we're on this beach. And we find out that Vikings have been there before, because we find the statue of Odin, so it shows that Vikings have actually landed here and must have been defeated, because the statue's like kind of buried in sand, and I'm like the lead of these Vikings, and I brush the sand off it and see him. So in reality, we were there all day, and I might be in the show for 20 seconds. I might be on camera for 20 seconds, but I get to dress up, and it pays, and it's a cool experience, and you kind of get to know how acting works a bit, and really even in comedy and entertainment, it's good to get into acting or get cast in commercials and stuff like that, because comedy just doesn't pay that much. Most big comics that I know are also in like a Doritos commercial or like a Vicey commercial or like something like that. So I'm doing background for now, but eventually would like to get an agent, and maybe I could be like the fourth guy in the Budweiser commercial. Just real simple stuff that like, you know what I mean? I'm not like a Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm not striving to be anything like brilliant like that, but if I could do a basic acting that might work in a commercial or like a billboard or something like that, and it kind of helped keep me afloat to focus on comedy, that'd be really cool. So
When they were doing the call-up for the Vikings, did you have to have a real beard?
they
long hair?
asked, that was like
Yeah.
part of it, is that it was like part of this site that I check out to see if they're kind of like looking for my look or age range or whatever else, and they said like, yeah, long hair, beards kind of style, and I got there, and yeah, it was me and like 4 other guys who looked just like me, and we like got to walk down the beach together and play dress up and stuff, so it was pretty cool.
Do you feel a certain kind of brotherhood when you see other men with long hair and beards?
Is that something I'm like really big into? Like, I don't care, but definitely like
People do.
I'll be downtown or something like that, or just outside, and I've definitely like had other guys with big beards start asking me like, well, how long if you had your beard, or like asking if I use stuff for it. I once had a guy like across the street, he had a big beard too, and he said killer beard, and then shouted out his Instagram account.
Oh my god!
to get me to follow him on Instagram because he also had a big beard. So of course, why wouldn't we just?
Did you?
I
Did you follow him?
I tried. I couldn't find- he said it was bearded Phillip, or so I thought from across the street. But he just took off. So I was like, yeah, I'll follow you. I don't care. But you know what I mean?
Wow.
But yeah, I get a lot of weird stuff. I'll have guys who are clean shaven tell me that they're thinking about growing a beard.
Oh yes.
Like I can do anything about it, or like they need my permission. Like I don't really understand why they're checking in with me. But I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Or sometimes, usually older guys who are like maybe more around my dad's age will be like, oh yeah, man, I used to have long hair too. Yeah, back in the day. Or like guys who even show me pictures on their phone of like them with long hair. And I mean like complete strangers. And I'm like, you didn't need to show me. I would have believed you. And you didn't need to pull out your camera. But no, I get stuff like that a lot.
Have you ever been asked to be like in a church play to play Jesus?
I imagine I haven't been doing background for very long, but I imagine I will get cast
Yeah, I
as
think
Jesus.
Here at the for the solstice. They have
Oh,
one
they
at the
have a
station.
whole- okay.
Yeah, one at the station. It's Jesus and Mary.
Yeah, because I feel like that could be totally something that you could
Oh, for sure.
market.
There could be a whole thing there.
Like my mother would love to meet you. Just because no.
Just like, I had an idea for a sketch one time where a friend of mine was going to be like selling Bibles door to door. And he goes to this.
Wow.
He goes to this one place, and they were like rude to him. They're like, "No, get out of here. We don't want to buy your Bibles." And then I walk up behind him, and I'm like, "Well, why not?" And I'm getting mad at them. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Come in." Or whatever else. They pour me a glass of water, and I snap my fingers, and it becomes wine. And I hang out with them for a bit, and at the end, they've bought like all his Bibles. And then they go, well, it was very nice to meet you, Jesus. And I'm like, my name's Dan. And I just leave.
Yeah, I have a type.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a type. He doesn't have a type at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Which bothers her. She's like, oh, you could just go off with anybody.
Literally could.
You're just into like any type of woman. And I'm like, yeah, you mean non-judgmental? That's the problem
like
here.
I judge
That's
people.
the problem.
I feel like it's just I have something that I'm attracted to, and you feel that need.
So the next guy with long hair and a beard is a bit funnier, and she's out of here. Looking homeless is going to be most of my work, so in a weird way. So, because I did one background thing. It was for an older like courtroom scene from like the 1800s or something like that, and it was only a day's work.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Can you shave your chin?"
Oh wow.
And we'll give you like the big chops or whatever. That was the style back then. And I told him, I said, to be honest, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't want to do it. Which was fine. They just wanted to see what I would agree to because they used me in it anyways.
Yeah.
And then of course I got way more work looking like with the full beard,
Yeah.
right? So
Because that would.
it would mess it up for like a Viking, or if I was doing Jesus or something. I just had this huge like empty patch. I play with my facial hair way too much, just with my hands. It's the only thing. Like I'm always, or if I'm nervous before a show,
Oh yeah.
I just am reefing on
Fluff
it.
it up.
I'm just like pulling on it. Katie's like, stop. Okay, like they have like these big bags of like meatballs and pogos at No Frills for like $10. And as a single man who's never made much money, like at the time, Katie would come over and that's all my refrigerator contained of. So it's like I'd have a pogo at breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I saw him like pack a lunch once, and it was like he had meatballs in barbecue sauce, and then emptied the leftover meatballs out, threw them in the trash, and then put more frozen meatballs in that old barbecue sauce, and then heated it up. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much. I was a 9-year-old with a day job all this time. And then Katie was like, no, you're going to die in 2 years. Before you know it, we'll be going on hikes. Trying to convince her. I want to start doing 2 camping trips a year. I want to do one in the summer, but I want to do like a real roughing it winter camping trip.
Ouch.
Where Katie is refusing to go with me.
And do you know how to like start a fire? Because I don't know how to start
I
a fire.
do. I told you last night I know how to
I
start
don't
a
do any of
fire.
that. I don't. Like, I'll go summer camping and we can try it. But, like, I don't want to sleep on the ground.
She doesn't really want to go camping.
You want a blow up mattress at least.
Yeah.
I understand, like, yeah, being like near like a washroom or some civilization or whatever else.
Yeah. I don't want to go winter camping. That sounds so stupid.
She doesn't want to do that at all. And then I was like, fine, I'll go by myself. And she's like, you will not go by yourself. You're not allowed to do that. You'll freeze to death. Or something. So, like, but I know none of my friends want to go with me either. So
I would
just,
go
like,
out
not
of
gonna.
concern.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but I feel like camping trips are like a prime time to get murdered.
This is what it always comes back to with her. Murder. Ghost.
It could literally happen anywhere.
I know.
Anywhere, but I feel like camping is like prime time for it. Like, there's not a lot of people around. Like if somebody is gonna want to go out and kill somebody camping, you're like the only people they can kill.
I don't think about getting murdered as much as Katie, pretty much.
Well, you're amazing.
Mostly because I look like a murderer. My dad was like a bit of a partier or whatever too, and was just having a party at his place, and I think he was like in his driveway, it was the summer or whatever, and he was gonna be having a bunch of people over, and my mom was walking down the street like with her girlfriend. My dad pretty much like invited them to the party, and they came. So my dad essentially catcalled my mom into a party, and then that's how they met, which is but definitely not how I operate. I befriend a woman for a full year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always been very shy when it comes to like intimate relationships, so it usually helps if there's like a pre-existing relationship. I'm not Mr. Oh, I'll go out tonight and I'm sure I'll meet someone. Like, I don't understand that kind of blind confidence that certain people have. But I think we're both like that. Like we're not exactly the one night stand kind of hookup type people.
I've never had a one night stand.
Oh, wow.
I'm just scared I'm gonna get murdered again.
For our 3-year anniversary, we went to Chuck E. Cheese and played games. And I didn't realize Chuck E. Cheese, like I knew it was for kids, but we go to the ones in like Niagara Falls on Clifton Hill all the time. And there's like adults there, and it's like it's not just kids.
Yeah.
We went to Chuck E. Cheese in Cambridge, and it's just us and a bunch of like, really little kids. And I'm like, this does not look good. Like if one of them goes missing, they're just blaming me. They're not looking at anybody else. They're definitely just looking at me.
Do they have a ball pit?
No.
Didn't have one,
I
no.
remember. I thought that they used. I think they
stories about
used to
that.
have a ball
They
pit.
have tunnels, but
Where you feel like you're drowning in balls. It's horrible.
You guys are such a sweet couple. I feel like you could be models for the Making Love Better book.